Okay, so you studied engineering, but you don't see yourself working in an oil rig or a plant, or you've tried to even work in those places, but you don't seem to be able to get into one of those places. Don't worry, you're not alone. The thing is, in 2025, remote opportunities for engineers, young engineers especially, are booming. And today I'm going to show you 15 that you can actually start without much experience. Hi, my name is Miracle and welcome to Elcarim, where I share career tips to young professionals in the industry who are looking to grow just like me. So it is very obvious that there has been an ongoing trend in the engineering industry. In fact, in the Nigerian market in general, a lot of people are going into tech and are exploring more tech adjacent and remote roles. So today we're going to cover 15 whole options that you can go into, including some that require little to no experience and how you can start. So let's begin with the tech aligned remote jobs, at least the ones that are beginner friendly. The first one, data analyst. Engineering graduates already understand data. In fact, depending on your discipline, you might have had to deal with a lot of data, organizing data while or during the course of your study. Certainly for sure during your final year project, depending on what you were asked to do or depending on what you chose to do. Things like organizing data or going through data that is stored on Excel sheets, going through years worth of data that you would use to insert into your project topic or to back up some claim. It's just the more beginner knowledge that you have. You can still go further to make it into a remote job. Some other free tools aside from Excel like Power BI and Google Data Studio can make data or learning data analysis very accessible to you. I'll put some links to YouTube videos that will help you get started. By the way, you can still go to Udemy to purchase cheap courses, but at the end of the day, if you don't have that much money, you can just start with YouTube. Check the description for links. The second one is technical support engineer. This is perfect if you're good with systems, products, doesn't have to be hardware, software as well, and troubleshooting, you understand. A lot of people in the engineering industry, they don't have, or at least a lot of higher experienced people, they don't have the tech knowledge that you would expect somebody at their experience level to have. So you can be their tech support, you can be their backup or backbone, you understand. You don't have to be too proficient in tech. You just, if you're tech savvy, you're able to do the job. You just have to brush up your skills on certain things. I'll put some YouTube videos. I'll help you to clear all those doubts you have. The next one is QA tester software. This one requires extreme attention to detail and it is a very amazing entry path into the tech world. The next one is process automation assistant. This one now, it depends on the process you're talking about. Certain processes require chemical engineering degrees, while other processes require you to know the process you're trying to automate, you understand? But in general, it just involves UiPath and automation of Excel and manual processes. The next one is GIS mapping or geospatial analyst. This is great for people that have civil, petroleum, or environmental engineering degrees that have interest in spatial data. Like I said, most of these things have courses that you can find on YouTube. I'll put them in the description. But you can also, use platforms like LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, and Udemy. Those ones have paid courses, but depending on your budget, it can really go a long way. So the next section we have is advanced tech jobs for mid-skilled people. The first one is data engineers. For those who have upskilled beyond analytics, they are done with analyzing data now, they're going one step ahead. Next one we have is machine learning engineer. Now, my computer engineers and electrical engineers, this one is for you. I know you're asking, how can this be a remote role? But there are remote machine learning engineers, but these roles are for people with a little bit of years in the industry, so they can just consult and they can tell you, oh, this is what I want you to do here, this is what I want you to do. But these roles do exist in the remote space. The next one is a Python developer with an engineering background. Now these ones are very rampant. I even have a friend that studied petroleum engineering with me that he's so good in Python now. He started in our final year for his final year project. Now it can be for something that you did not think would become anything, and then you'll be so proficient, or you become so proficient in Python where you can, outsource, become a freelancer and be doing work remotely on Upwork as well. Engineers who code equals to super valuable. Now, the next one is a CAD or BIM engineer. That's people that use AutoCAD or people that design. SolidWorks and other design software like them. Civil engineers and mechanical engineers, this is your wheelhouse. Even people that are not mechanical engineers learn AutoCAD and they use it to feed themselves over long periods of time, you understand? Because you can use it to get contract jobs and just be jumping from one job to another. It is extremely lucrative. They pay designers a lot. So if you can't learn AutoCAD, I think you should learn AutoCAD. I think I mentioned it in my last video as well. And then the next one is a simulation and modeling engineer. I think I was talking about process something before. This is the real place for process engineers. For simulating stuff, it is extremely essential in the oil and gas industry. And you know that oil and gas equals money. So if you can do a model simulation for oil and gas firm, multiple oil and gas firms, you're set for life, you understand? Tools like AspenTech for process flow simulation are essential, and it's not just by mouth. All the links for the resources I mentioned in the video, like AutoCAD, AspenTech, I'm going to put them in the description for tutorials, and even software like AspenTech, how to get the cracked version. I'll put them all in the description if you want to go into any of them. So the next section, engineering roles or consulting roles that you do not know could be remote. The first one, remote technical writer. I mean, it's actually very common, but it is not common in the engineering space. Like, everyone is a technical writer, everyone is a copywriter, everyone is some form of writer, because everyone is trying to get jobs on Upwork. I am seeing the trend on TikTok here and there, but why not join the trend, but for engineers? You know, you can't let your writing skills go to waste because you have an engineering degree and you have to focus on oil and gas and construction and all that. You can put your technical writing skills to good use and, you know, get hired as a contractor for one of these companies. You know, take on writing gigs like guides, manuals, or even blog content for all these companies. They pay well. The next thing I recommend is that you can be a freelance engineering consultant. This is especially for senior engineers that have a niche skill or niche expertise that you can't find anywhere. You can just consult, you understand? They'll even be begging you. It just depends on how you present yourself. The next job is an energy analyst for carbon emissions and renewable energy. You know where we're going, net zero carbon emissions. So a lot of companies are trying to meet up to the global standard of achieving zero carbon emissions, and they don't know how to track or they don't have a proper way of tracking their carbon emissions and how effectively they are switching to renewable energy sources. So you can go in if you have the skill set and, you know, offer your services. These are roles that you don't really need much years of experience to upskill in. The next role is a remote project coordinator. If you're someone that has project engineering experience or you have your PMP, you understand, you don't have to have like a permanent office role. You can do a remote project coordinator role. All you need is for them to put you through their processes, you know, join their meetings. Most of the work you'll be doing is through your laptop anyway, even if you are going to the office, because at the end of the day, you're getting an update from this person, you're getting an update from this person. You don't really need to be at the office, so you have to pitch yourself that way. The last but not the least is a remote sales engineer. Most times, sales engineers, unless they're going to meet with clients, they're doing most of their work on their laptops anyway. So if you're hired as a remote sales engineer, you're engaging with clients, engaging with business people on the other side of business opportunities over the phone, over Teams calls, over meetings, virtual meetings, especially if they are clients that are abroad, you understand? So you don't really need to be at the office. These are remote jobs, especially if you've gotten a few years of experience on your CV. These are jobs that are not really hard to get. It's just to negotiate a price that works with the both of you and the company. But most times it's high paying and it's remote friendly. So why not? So just a reminder, engineering of these days is not a one size fits all kind of situation anymore. So you just have to do what applies to you. Like I said, you look at what you studied. Sometimes not even what you studied. Look at what you're interested in. I have a friend that he studied electrical engineering, but he's more into tech and programming and Python and all that. And that's what he's going into. So just look at what works for you and what you know you have skills in and go from there. Whether you studied petroleum, civil, electrical, there's surely a remote engineer path for you. Anyways, I have a free LinkedIn optimization pack. You can use it to optimize your LinkedIn, get your LinkedIn from 0 followers to about 800 followers in just a month. You can get it, the link will be in the description. And also, please join my WhatsApp group. I send daily job updates and scholarship updates. You wouldn't want to miss out on that. So you can get your first job in the oil and gas industry. If you don't plan to work in the oil and gas industry, you get your first job post NYSC. If you liked the video, please give it a like, subscribe, it helps the channel out, and just put in the comments exactly what job you would like to get into, or just put something in the comments. See you guys later. Bye.